I've got this friend, been friends, like best friends since like middle school. So like 15, 16-ish years.
Okay.
A couple years ago, he meets this girl a couple hours away, like one city next to us. They start dating. When we meet, we find out that we were in like a really similar like music and like art social scene. But like as she was getting out of it, it was when I started coming around there.
Mm-hmm.
And so like when we met, I mean, we knew a bunch of the same people, lived a bunch of the same, experiences, probably crossed paths, but like, whatever. We ended up getting along great and like became super tight while they were dating.
Mm-hmm.
And so a year or so goes by, they end up breaking up.
Mm-hmm.
We were close. And so they're going through this breakup. I'm just kind of in the middle, being, just kind of there.
In the middle, just there. No ulterior motives, no secret hopes.
No, to be clear, that was never a thing. That's not a factor.
I said it wasn't. I don't know why you're yelling at me. I'm agreeing with you.
Sorry, yeah, but nope. That just to be clear.
Sure, absolutely. We're just being clear.
So the problem here in all this, though, is because they broke up. He thought she was insane. It was a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of know what happened. I'm again staying in the middle, kind of staying out of it, just being there for support. Still kind of talking to her about what was going on. Mm-hmm. Well, then he finds out at one point and is like, "Hey, it's kind of not great that you're talking to my ex. We've been, whatever." And I'm like, "Yeah, but got pretty close. I'm just trying to be there. We'll see what happens." And then at one point he brings in another friend of ours, and this friend of ours' wife, who like I've been friends with him for about 20 years, like most of our life at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And their text coming at me being like, "Hey, she's the worst person ever. Like, you got to drop her," even though they had never met her. Yeah. There was like one Discord call where, because like they were out of state now, like there's one kind of weird Discord call that they like got introduced. Other than that, they never met her, didn't know anything that happened.
Sure.
But they were still also on the whole, "Hey, you got to drop her" thing.
Right.
Well, to make it quick, 2 years later, never dropped her.
What happened?
I am better friends with her now than I actually am with my other friend, because just, life happened. He's got a pretty serious, intense job. He's in a pretty solid relationship now. We don't talk a whole lot. There's days where I'll talk to, his ex more than I talk to him.
Okay.
I like talk to him in a month, even. Like we're super tight, super close. Like, so the joke when they first got together was that like he basically found like the woman version of me. Like that's how similar we were. So we've just always gotten along great.
Okay.
She's kind of introduced me to some of her friends, got me into her circles. And so my issue here is, at this point, like I'm not going to drop her out of my life.
Well, yeah,
but also, like I don't want to lose him, but like I want them to both be in my life, and life moments happen, whatever, them to both be there. But I don't know how to go about telling him this now,
dude.
So long after the fact.
Okay, so I got to be honest with you. You're kind of being unreasonable because you're basically saying, okay. You can't tell the guy he want to be around his ex if he doesn't want to. Like, look, they were being a little unreasonable telling you can't be friends with her, right? You became friends with her. You're close. And, I was mocking you earlier because I thought for sure you wanted to fuck this girl. But it seems like you have...
not that.
Well, I was going to say, it actually seems like you truly have pure intentions and you actually were friends with her. And look, I see where your friend is coming from. I see making the request that you choose sides in a breakup. I get where he's coming from, but I also fully get where you're coming from, where you're like, hey, that's kind of childish. I want to be friends with both of you. So in a way, I understand. I understand where he's coming from. I understand where you're coming from. And I think it's fine for you to be friends with both of them, but I also think you have to realize, like, you can't tell someone to be happy to see their ex. You're not their kid.
Right.
You're not their kid.
Yeah.
They're not they're not your divorced parents that have to get over it to raise you. If he never wants to see this woman again for the rest of his life, that's his business, is how I feel about it. So it's like, you're just going to have to keep splitting, pretend like they are your fucking toxic parents and realize only one of them's coming to the wedding, or they're going to make a scene about it, or invite them both and let them figure it out because they're adults ultimately. But the same way, no one can tell you who to be friends with. You can't tell someone who to be happy to see, and who they can't say. You really don't have a right to be like, hey, put your differences aside. I want to have a picnic and have both of you there. It's like, that doesn't. You know what I'm saying?
And that's kind of part is like, I don't want to just like force it. I just, I've been trying to figure out how to be like, hey, I don't want to be like secretly having this other friendship over here.
But how long has this been going on?
Year and a half or 2 years, I think.
You're already having a secret friendship.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's kind of gotten to the point recently where I've been thinking about it more and more, where I'm like, I'm over this. I'm tired of it. Like, I just have to tell him.
Yeah, you definitely do. And listen, dude, by the way, it's like, I mean, it sounds, obviously you're friends with both of them, but it's like, yeah, you made your choice. And again, you're totally within your rights to be like, I'm not a fucking kid. You don't tell me who I can be friends with. And also, maybe you don't think she was crazy. It sounds like you don't, right? It sounds like,
Right. Yeah, no, I kind of know what happened. I've have chosen to stay in the middle of it,
right?
Just, without taking sides. But I don't necessarily think she was in the wrong. I'll say that. So,
yeah, if that's the case, look, you've made your choice, and you have to decide, and you have nothing to be, ashamed of or fucking sort of like nervous about. I mean, I guess nervous in terms of your friend has made it clear he doesn't want you even talking to her, but it's like he can't tell you that, and you just have to be honest, and however he reacts, he reacts. Hopefully he can fucking realize it's not that big a deal. It's been a couple years. He's got a good relationship. You really just want to be friends with her, and it's like, and he can just let it go eventually. But if he doesn't, also you have to be ready for that. Because at the end of the day,
right,
you kind of have made your choice. If we're being honest, you chose this girl, and if he sticks around, great. But he's also the one who's, by the way, he kind of forced your hand. No, she didn't make you make an ultimatum, right? She never gave you an ultimatum, correct?
No, not at all.
So that he kind of forced your hand, and you kind of made your choice, which is, I prefer this girl. Honestly, it sounds what it sounds like to me. And I think,
sorry.
No. I'm just gonna say you made your choice. So fucking, I think more than anything, you should tell him, just because you don't want to feel like you're a guy who's sneaky and sneaking around. You should be like. And just to clear your own conscience is what it sounds like to me. And, after that, let the chips fall where they may. If he wants to be a fucking asshole about it, he can be an asshole about it. And maybe you lose him as a friend, but,
Right. Yeah. Because I don't want to say, it's not even that I prefer her necessarily. It's like, I know that right now, if I text both of them, hey, I need something, I'll hear from her within a couple minutes, and I might not hear from him for a couple days, just because that's kind of how he is. Well, then, so it's just we naturally I become more closer to her because
dude. By the way, let me just tell you something.
She's there.
Let me tell you something. You definitely like her more because this never happens. He was your friend. He starts dating someone. You get closer to her. That means he didn't like the guy. That means you like her way more than you like your friend. And when people break up, if Elders was dating someone and I thought she was pretty cool, but they broke up, I would never speak to her again. I would have to think she's the cool, I'd have to be so compatible with someone to break bro code essentially.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You kind of have.
And I agree because he's got other exes that I've never thought about since.
Of course.
His girlfriend right now. I've talked to her 3 times in the year and a half they've been together, if that.
Yeah.
And I'd never talk to her again. She's cool. She's a great person. I just don't care.
So you have
I get you there.
There are no romantic anything here with this person. Is that what I'm to
not
believe?
at all. We are both constantly trying to set each other up with friends of ours. I was trying to get her to slide into your DMs one day.
Okay, all right, keep at it.
All right.
Well, never mind. I'm not going to convince you that you're in love with her now. Listen, you keep telling her to slide in.
I will keep working on that. So.
Yeah, all right, whatever. Well, listen, I don't know if I fully believe you, but maybe this is act 1 of a rom-com, or maybe even the beginning of act 2 or something, where you're like, no. Either way, it doesn't matter. All that's immaterial. I think what's happened here is and how old are you, by the way, or about what?
29, turning 30 in a few about a year,
this
6 months.
This is kind
They're
of
about a year younger than me.
Yeah, dude. I mean, look, I think you just hit it off more with like the fact becoming better friends with somebody's ex is like so rare that you really clearly like her as a friend. And so I think to me, you've made your choice, and it's just a matter of clearing your conscience and seeing how your original friend reacts. But I'll also, and I think probably because you've been friends with him, how long, this guy?
About 15 years, I'd say. I mean, we were in middle school.
Yeah, I think this is
we
more.
We graduated like a little over 10 years ago. So
I think this is the kind of thing where you have a lot of loyalty to somebody you've known forever, but all things being equal, you clearly hit it off more with his ex, and you feel a little guilt for your old friend. But what you really want is to maintain a friendship with this person that's more available to you, that you get along with better, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I think the only thing you should be worried about is like feeling like you've done nothing wrong except arguably kind of sneak around with this, if this is even.
Yeah, I wish I would have done it a couple years ago. I'll say that. Which is
fine. That's fine.
Like, should not have waited this long, but
whatever. Ultimately, he's like, how dare you be like policing who you're friends with is fucking lame as shit. You know, it's like, what did she do that was so great? And especially if you don't think she was in the wrong, because if he really pressed you, you would be like, honestly, dude, she's not that fucking insane. You kind of, you know what I mean? Like, that's your actual position. So you're fine, dude. All this conversation has told me is that you don't, I mean, you care about this guy, but you don't give that much of a fuck about this guy.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, that's good.
Okay.
Clarity here, I guess. So, yeah. So,
all right, man.
I definitely appreciate it. So.
Of course, dude. Well, listen, good luck out there. I love that you're traveling to see all this niche indie media, and we appreciate you for it. Yeah, dude. We'll talk to you soon.
I mean, I live in the middle of North Dakota, so I got to go somewhere to see something. Dude. So, you know, nothing happens here.
We'll get to North Dakota at some point. I want to get all 50 states checked off the list.
Yeah.
But we'll get it someday. We'll get there someday. All right, brother. Well, enjoy.
Perfect. Well, thank you. So appreciate you.
Good luck.
Appreciate you.